If you think technical skills are the most important thing in pharma consulting, you're missing the big picture. In fact, some of the highest paid consultants never touch data analysis. So what makes them so valuable? It is these 6 key skills, and today I'll walk you through each one and explain how you can actually learn them. I've worked as a pharma consultant for many years, and I've seen firsthand what helps people succeed in this industry, and it's not just about being smart, it's about having the right skills for the job. All consultants solve problems, right? But what sets top-tier consultants apart is how they approach and break down those problems. As Charles Kettering, a famous engineer, once said, "A problem well stated is a problem half solved." If you don't clearly understand the problem, you'll struggle to find a solution. This is where frameworks come in. Using frameworks like SCQA, MISI, or logic trees can help you break down the issue step by step. Once you have a clear picture, critical thinking models like the RED model or the Paul Elder framework can help you challenge your assumptions and draw sound conclusions. If you want to improve your problem-solving skills, don't just jump straight into solutions. Spend time breaking down the problem and understanding it fully. This approach will make you a more effective problem solver and a stronger consultant. In my intro, I mentioned that some of the highest paid pharma consultants never actually touch data analysis. So you might be wondering, why is data analysis still on this list? Here's the thing. Many consultants spend a significant amount of time working with data, but it's not just about crunching the numbers. It's about using that data to tell a compelling story. The best consultants know that data isn't valuable for its own sake. The real value comes from turning complex data sets into actionable insights that solve client problems. Whether you're working with clinical trial results, market research, or financial data, your job is to find the narrative in the numbers and connect that to your client's specific goals. By focusing on extracting insights rather than getting lost in the details, you can present data in a way that drives strategic decision-making, and tools like Excel, R, or Python can help you visualize and organize the data. But the real skill is in interpreting that data to tell a story that resonates and drives action. In the end, the value of data analysis lies not in the analysis itself, but in how you can use the data to create a story that informs your recommendations and guides your clients toward a solution. So what can you do to get better at data analysis and data storytelling? I know this may sound frustrating, but if you want to get better at something, the easiest way to achieve that is by doing the thing. Hands-on experience trumps all other forms of learning, so I suggest you pick one data analysis tool and start from there. It can be super tempting to look left and right for the latest shiny coding platform and try to jump onto the hype train, but focusing on one tool will give you the chance to actually develop a deeper understanding rather than getting distracted by trying to do it all at once. With that in mind, which software should you choose and focus on? Instead of looking at what's popular online, have a look at what companies are actually hiring for. Go through the job descriptions of companies you'd like to work for and see what software skills they're flagging as mandatory. As you can see from this data, SQL, Python, and Java are the top 3 programming languages as ranked by the number of job postings on Indeed.com. I also highlighted R and SAS on this chart as they're commonly used in pharma consulting from what I've seen in practice. What's not on this list is Excel, but that certainly doesn't mean that you can ignore it. Excel is still the workhorse of the pharma consulting industry, and most quick and dirty analysis will be done in it. Finally, mastering the basic of statistics is crucial. I can't stress this enough. Learn the fundamentals of statistics, because without this foundation, your analysis can easily go astray. No software will help you avoid the pitfalls of inappropriate data analysis and visualization. Understanding fundamental statistics, however, equips you with methodological know-how needed to analyze data using applications like R, Python, or SAS. That's why mastering the art of statistics is so important, as I've already pointed out in my book review of David Spiegelhalter's bestseller. I'm convinced that 99% of the time you don't even need the fancy advanced statistical methods. Instead, focus on the basics, but learn the basics really well and really understand them truly. If you're unsure if you truly understand something, then try to explain it in words that a 10-year-old could understand. If you find yourself struggling with that and you revert to jargon-heavy technical language in your explanation, then chances are you don't fully understand the concept yet. Once you fully understand the concept, try applying it to a real-world scenario. Most, if not all, businesses these days need to analyze data in some shape or form. So find a way of incorporating learning how to do practical data analysis on your day job. Volunteering to perform data analysis on the job is great for making sure that you don't have to sacrifice your free time to acquire these new skills. And yes, let's address the AI elephant in the room. My short answer to whether or not you should care about data analysis in 2025 with the rise of AI is yes, even though Mark Zuckerberg has recently poured gasoline onto the AI will steal your job debate when he mentioned on the Joe Rogan podcast that Meta is planning to replace mid-level coders and software developers in the near future. While many AI tools are already capable of writing R and Python code for you, the user still needs to understand what's going on and what they're looking at. And that is assuming that all these AI coders are perfect, which they are certainly not. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use AI to do your data analysis, you absolutely should, but focus on understanding the core statistical concepts and how you can use that data to tell a convincing story to your clients. People have extremely short attention spans, especially today in the age of 10-second TikTok clips, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts. Now, think of the lack of focus in the business context, where most people aren't truly passionate about their jobs. How much will they really listen to you when you present your slides during a 4 p.m. meeting on a Tuesday afternoon? Not a lot, probably, unless you're a very entertaining presenter who's got great communication skills. This may seem harsh, but most people in most meetings don't really listen to what people have to say, at least not truly. So to make these people care about highly complex scientific topics, like the ones we discuss on a daily basis in the pharma world, you need to deploy all tricks at your disposal to win them back. So what are those tricks? How can you become a better communicator and improve your presentation skills? Sometimes it may feel like some people are just naturally born with a gift to cheer up a crowd, while most of us aren't. But rest assured that there are simple frameworks you can apply yourself to improve your public speaking abilities. The key to learning how to improve your communication and presentation skills is to structure your arguments. We humans have a really hard time absorbing any kind of information that is presented to us in an unstructured way. You can add structure to your presentations by following the situation, complication, question, and answer framework that I've already touched on as part of the first skill for pharma consultants. If you're using slides to present your ideas, then you can also apply the pyramid principle and combine that with the concept of vertical and horizontal logic, both of which I've already covered in a past video. If you're into that kind of stuff, you should check out the Analyst Academy YouTube channel, where you can find a ton of handy tips and tricks that are easy to follow and apply yourself. The Analyst Academy is run by a former consultant, and one thing he points out a lot is how the same data can be presented in multiple different ways, and some ways are just definitely better than others. If you're unsure which way is best to present your data, you can take a look at the chart chooser, which gives you a simple blueprint for picking the right chart for your data. This chart chooser asks what you'd like to show with your data, and it gives you 4 branches to follow, each with subsequent questions to pick the right chart for you. Alternatively, you can follow this cute little dinosaur on Instagram. On the Chartosaur account, they share little snippets of how you can improve your data storytelling, which will ultimately make you a better communicator. Should you instead prefer books, then have a look at this book from Cole Nussbaumer. With almost 5,000 reviews and an average rating of 4.6, you're sure to find some great takeaways on how to improve your data visualizations for your next big presentation. Last but not least, you need to pull all of these frameworks into action. The only way to do that is to present in front of other people that listen to you and give you feedback. I recently attended a lecture given by Matthew Said, the author of critically acclaimed books like Rebel Ideas or Black Box Thinking. In his speech, he admitted that one of the first talks he got hired to do for a big company went terribly wrong, and apparently the consequences he took from that was to sign up with a small club in his local pub where every member would give short presentations on a random topic and receive feedback on it. If your current situation doesn't allow you to present in front of others, maybe consider joining a club like Matthew did to improve your communication skills. I get that joining a club is a lot of effort, but there's an even simpler way on reflecting of your current presentation skills. All you need to do is film yourself giving a presentation and then do 3 different reviews. In the first review, you only listen to your presentation and you don't look at the video. What do you sound like? Are there any weird noises you make? In the second review, you only watch the video and you mute the audio. How do you look? What do people see? Then, in the third and last review, you print out a transcript and all you do is read the text. How many filler words do you use? Find all those ums and ahs and highlight them. If you do this 3-step review, I will guarantee you that from now on onwards, you will walk through life with a mirror that shows you which aspect of your presentation skills you can improve. Not only will that help you influence others, but it will also help you get comfortable being uncomfortable. If you do one thing every day that scares you, then soon there will be very few things left that you're actually scared of. Pharma consulting, just like regular consulting, is all about building trusting relationships with your clients and colleagues. If someone trusts you, they are more likely to listen to you, share information, and return to you for repeat business. While climbing the consulting ladder, you start off as a subject matter expert, but you'll eventually need to evolve into a trusted advisor. To do this, you need strong people and relationship management skills. Easier said than done, right? I get it. Acquiring soft skills like working with people and managing relationships can be tricky. There are many frameworks out there, each with its own take. So where do you really start? Here are a few frameworks that I found most useful. First off, I'm a big fan of the 4-color personality model. It's simple but powerful. This model assigns one of 4 colors, red, blue, green, or yellow, to people, and understanding these different communication styles can help you adapt your approach with clients and stakeholders, making your interactions more effective. If you're curious, I've already made a video about it, which you can see in the top right corner. You can also work on your people skills by familiarizing yourself with the 12 elements of emotional intelligence, which are grouped into 4 domains, including self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. By assessing yourself against these competencies, you can identify areas where you're strong and areas for improvement. A closely related but distinct concept is emotional resilience. I can't stress enough how important this is for pharma consultants, given that high-pressure environment they work in. Demanding clients, tough deadlines, and challenging projects will definitely put your emotional resilience to the test, that's for sure. Luckily, there are lots of ways in which you can improve your emotional resilience. For example, you can reflect on your emotional triggers and responses. After all, when you know what triggers you, you give yourself the power to choose your response instead of being controlled by your reaction. Likewise, you can reframe challenging situations as opportunities for growth. Rather than saying, this is too hard and therefore I will fail, try telling yourself, this is a great chance to learn and I will excel at it. I know this sounds super cliche and like something a motivational guru might say to you, but there is evidence to support this. Back in 1968, Rosenthal and Jacobson demonstrated that the Pygmalion effect, which they observed while doing an experiment in a California elementary school to examine how teachers' expectations influence student performance. They randomly labeled some students as intellectual bloomers and found that by year's end, these students showed significant IQ gains, and despite no actual differences in ability due to subtle changes in teacher behavior. This observed phenomenon can also be twisted the other way around, where low expectations can limit potential, leading to what's called the golem effect. The key takeaway here is that our beliefs, whether from others or ourselves, can shape our outcomes, influencing both performance and our ability to handle challenges. By adopting a mindset that expects growth and improvement, we build emotional resilience, empowering ourselves to face adversity with confidence and adaptability. In the same vein, people and relationship management skills are crucial for pharma consultants, especially when navigating conflicts. When expectations are misaligned and misunderstandings arise, it's easy for situations to escalate. However, with the right mindset and conflict resolution tools, these challenges can be turned into opportunities for deeper understanding and collaboration. One such tool is the 5 Whys technique, a powerful approach to uncover the root causes of conflict, helping both parties move beyond surface level disagreements and find lasting solutions. There are so many more approaches that you could use to familiarize yourself with to improve your skills, and I only scratched the surface with the tools I gave you today. Ultimately, I want to stress how important these skills are in order to build trust and how you can leverage existing simple frameworks to help you achieve your goals. Moving on to the 5th skill on my list, I believe it is essential for pharma consultants to have a solid understanding of the pharmaceutical industry. This may seem obvious, but knowing how different pharma markets work, being familiar with the processes that they use, and understanding the broader healthcare ecosystem, including clinical development, regulatory approval, and reimbursement mechanisms, is a key skill to acquire for future pharma consultants. Now, why does this matter? In a nutshell, your ability to advise clients effectively is directly influenced by how well you know the system in which you're operating, and hence you need to know how to navigate the complex landscape of the pharmaceutical industry. Given that there is so much complexity in the pharma industry, you will most likely have to specialize to provide value to others, either by geographical region or discipline or both. Let's look at ways in which you can develop such expertise. If you want to learn how local healthcare systems work, a great place to start is the Health Systems in Transition report series. They're updated frequently and provide an enormous level of detail for all European markets and some additional OECD markets. You can also have a look at the Health at a Glance report in case you're looking for a more condensed summary of indicators of population health and health system performance across OECD member states and key emerging economies. Things get more difficult if you want to learn about other major pharma markets like China, India, or Brazil, for example, as you might need to read across a variety of sources to pull together the bigger picture yourself, given that there is no central repository that I'm aware of. That being said, the Commonwealth Fund has a section on their website where they present international healthcare system profiles, including the 3 aforementioned markets, alongside other big markets like Japan, Australia, or Israel, to only name a few others. If that's still not enough info for you to better understand local markets, you may need to revert to the government websites and local Ministry of Health reports for the country you're interested in. This can get difficult as some information may only be available in the local language and therefore creates an accessibility barrier. Yet, this is also why most pharma consultants, rather than striving to become generalists like more traditional consultants, aim to specialize in 1 or 2 geographical markets or regions, and then learn everything and every little detail they can about that market to gain a competitive advantage. For me, the markets I specialized in include the UK and Germany, and even within those markets, I specialized further by focusing on market access and reimbursement, ignoring other areas I could have built my expertise in. That's why I started making videos on how HTA works in those markets, but my plans are to expand the series in the long term once I get the chance to speak to market access leads and experts from other countries to share their country-specific knowledge. Apart from the country-specific component of understanding the local pharma ecosystem, pharma consultants also should build domain-specific knowledge. What I mean by that is that the pharmaceutical industry can be split into so many functions, and each function has different skill requirements that determine success. For example, I've already tried to map out what this means from an HEOR perspective, but HEOR is only one tiny piece in a gigantic puzzle, really, and there are an infinite number of ways to niche down in one of the 3 core building blocks of pharma, which include R&D, manufacturing, and supply chain, as well as commercialization. Business development is a key skill for pharma consultants. If you master this, you could theoretically survive without the other skills I've talked about today. The reality is that if you bring in revenue, you're always going to be valuable for your firm, even if you're not the most technically proficient or data savvy person. It's paradoxical because if you're good at business development, chances are you're also good at least one of the other skills I've mentioned today. Apart from getting better at the other 5 skills I've talked about today, there are several sales-specific techniques and frameworks you can use to generate more business for the pharma consultancy you actually work for. For instance, the pain, dream, fix pitch method helps you come up with a simplified 3-step structure to make your sale. Instead of just dumping info onto your potential client, start by highlighting the major pain point for them. What is their challenge? Once you've figured out what their challenge is, you can then articulate a dream scenario in which you define what success looks like for them. What would be the ideal outcome for them? With the ideal outcome in mind, you can position the solution that you want to sell as the bridge to get to that preferred outcome. To reinforce the fix that you're proposing, you can add social proof to strengthen your point. In pharma consulting, social proof comes in the form of previous projects that you've worked on with other clients. After anonymizing confidential information and client names, past projects are often used as a case study to show skills and expertise of the consultancy that you work for. Case studies are a great way of contextualizing how you've tackled and solved a challenge in the past, which not only gives your potential client a tiny work sample, but also allows you to share your successes. Basically, all business-savvy pharma consultants who have a revenue target will use case studies as they know of the importance to give before you ask. The idea is so simple, but yet also very effective. Before you ask a new client to give you their business, give them something valuable. Now, of course, you don't want to give away everything for free, so you have to balance the size of the potential opportunity against the effort you're willing to put in upfront. And allowing access to free online tools or giving personalized feedback or even just connecting a client with another expert may help you get a foot in the door. If you're at the stage where you're actually negotiating with a client about a potential project, you may initially run into resistance because of the concerns that that client might have. This is where you can use objection handling to ease or even better resolve concern. The good thing is that objections aren't rejections, which is why you can use a simple 3-step framework to clarify, reassure, and position yourself better with the client. In the first step of the objection handling framework, you start by acknowledging their concern, and repeating their concern back to them can actually help showcase that you care and fully understand their problem. In the second step, you want to reframe the issue. This is where you provide a new perspective or solution. In the third and last step, you want to close with a question. Doing this helps to keep the conversation open-ended and passes the ball back to the client. Now they can either decide your solution was appropriate, meaning that you're going to do business with you, or they have to come up with another objection. In pharma consulting, you get objections all the time, both from new and existing clients. As important as new clients are, I would argue that your time is probably best spent focusing on your repeat customers, as selling to someone again who has already seen what you're capable of is much easier as you've already established a trusting relationship with them. This is important especially for more junior pharma consultants, as the majority of your time is still spent on actual project delivery and you don't have the network yet to reach out to potential leads. However, since it's you who's doing the actual work on the project, you can heavily influence the quality of the work you deliver, which helps build up the trust with clients to convert them into repeat customers. Understanding these 6 skills is one thing, and applying them effectively is totally another thing. Even though I've worked in pharma consulting for many years, I can guarantee you that there have been many instances where I didn't follow my own advice and ignore many of the frameworks that I've brought up today. Luckily, we can always continue to get better and better with time. So in case you want to learn more about the pharma industry, then go watch one of my other videos, which you can see on screen right now.